Hello there. Recently, I attended a virtual conference, and today I want to recap some of the highlights. I'm still reveling in it, and so I'm going to share this with you today. I'm Teresa, and I am an emotional awareness coach. And what that means is I work with people to help them recognize, understand, and manage their emotions. Many of us were not explicitly taught to understand our emotions or even to express them. And emotional awareness is really the foundation of life. Emotions impact our thoughts, our behaviors, how we build relationships, how we manage conflict, how we communicate. So basically, emotional awareness is life. So on this channel, I share thoughts about developing emotional awareness and life because they go together. So let's talk about the virtual conference. It was the Exodus Summit 2023. Exodus Summit is a community of Black women who are interested in taking a sabbatical, an expat move, or living a nomadic life. It is for Black women, I want to stress that. But also, even if you are not in the mindset, like you haven't even thought about you want to live abroad, if you want to begin to travel or just to explore other areas, this is a great community to be a part of as well. This was the fourth year for the Exodus Summit. The theme this year was about freedom. So the theme was location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. My mind went blank. So location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. It was from October 6th to October 9th. So there were about maybe 28 speakers, and I think there were three keynote speakers. So today, as I share information, of course, I cannot give you all of the information that I'm still reveling in. You heard those dates, right? The 6th through the 9th, about 28 speakers. What I have done is I took maybe a major statement from each of the speakers and created an affirmation for myself. So as I share my insights and takeaways, they're more than likely just going to be a sampling of a few of them, and I'll share like that highlight statement that really resonated in my spirit. I will put the information below because I do know that you can purchase the replays because, of course, it was all videoed, and you can purchase a replay. And I highly recommend that you do, even if you are not interested in an expat move or a nomadic move, because it's about freedom. Freedom should be that core value that we all have, whatever that freedom is for you, fill in the blank. And I don't think you will be disappointed at all with a purchase of this. Again, I'll have that information in the description box. The co-founders of the Exodus Summit are Rashida Dow and Stephanie Perry. Rashida is a career break coach, and so she can help you ditch that burnout from these workplaces and plan a sabbatical. Stephanie is a house sitter, so she helps you with that ease of travel by learning how to house sit and traveling. That expense of lodging is taken care of with house sitting. They both have very empowering stories, and so I, again, will have their information below. Learn about them. I tell you, your life, your mindset will be changed. Even how you think about things. You'll begin to have dreams that you didn't even know you had. Your mind will expand in a way you just hadn't thought about. So go ahead and check them out. Okay, I have my notes here because I would talk for days about the speakers. So I want to begin with the kickoff, and that was Octavia Rahim. And her title of her session was Embodying Rest, a deeper restorative practice. So you see what I mean? Whether you want to travel or expat, sabbatical or not, who does not need a restorative practice? Tell me one Black woman that does not need to hear this. All right. The statements that resonated with my soul that I now speak daily in my affirmations, one of them is, resting is legacy building work. Ooh, I want you to think about legacy. When we think of that term legacy, it's like what we want to live, what we want to leave for others. But actually, when we rest now, we are creating legacy. Legacy can be lived now, and rest is a legacy we want to leave. I want to ask you this and think about it. Who did you see rest? And I think maybe she mentioned that as well. Who did you see rest? Who taught you to rest? Another statement or something that she brought into our mind is creating a rest nest. So she talked about the importance of having this area where you rest daily and make it luxurious, no matter what that looks like for you. A special blanket, an area that you have maybe blankets, pillows that are just for that, outside of your bed, but use your bed if you need to. Even in the workplace, if you can bring a special pillow and you are one of those people who going into the office, you work in the office and you may want to take that break and have that special pillow that maybe you put on your desk and you lay your head on, that you prop behind your back or your head, but make it a habit to create a rest nest, and that will look different for all of us. So that was Octavia Rahim. She even walked us through resting. We took 30 minutes to hear her melodic voice, and it lulled us as we rested. The next speaker I want to share an insight about is Erica Totten. Her talk was about the lies we tell ourselves about sabbaticals. She gave 4 lies. I'm only going to maybe tell you 1, maybe 2, because you need to go and get this and really listen to it and marinate in what was said so you can truly process it. But the statement that I have is, a sabbatical is a spiritual practice. That liberation comes from a sabbatical. A sabbatical is about rest. Sometimes we have to learn to rest because we don't know how, or we've been conditioned to think it's laziness. But ain't nothing wrong with being lazy either. I'm just saying, you don't live a life of lazy, but like anything else, sometimes rest, lazy, whatever you want to call it. But a sabbatical is a spiritual practice. Love it. So what Erica was talking about is when it comes to a sabbatical, we sometimes lie to ourselves. I'm going to give you one of the lies, and with each lie, she gave a truth. Again, I told you this will open your mind to processes and thoughts and beliefs that you weren't even realizing you had. So the first lie, we all know it. I can't afford it. I don't have money to not work and go on a sabbatical and do nothing and relax for weeks or months, right? But that's the lie. The truth is, have you done the numbers? Have you even done the research? Have you even looked at your expenses? Have you even considered, hey, I don't need to spend $800 a month eating out. I could spend a couple of hundred cooking, saving that few, and then create a sabbatical, create that opportunity for a sabbatical. So there are some lies that we tell ourselves when actuality, there's a truth to that lie. So in her session, she identifies those. Again, that is Erica Totten. The next speaker I'd like to highlight is Lisa James. Her talk was about, is it safe there? Safe, stay safe during international travel. Now, come on now. We all know if you tell your friends or your family that you're about to go somewhere on a sabbatical to another country, that's usually the first thing they'll say. Is it safe? The statement that I took from Lisa is, debunk American exceptionalism. Baby, America have y'all thinking, I say y'all because I don't think that no more. America has y'all thinking it's the best and the brightest. It is not. It is not. But we don't know this until we begin to explore other areas. So Lisa gave steps to being safe, and they're very practical steps. And she gave quite a few of them. I'm going to give you a couple. And the first one is have a plan. Know your budget. So think about how much you have, where you want to go, where you're going to stay. So there is some planning that needs to happen beforehand because you have an idea. Because when you followed the advice from Erica, you identified your number. And so then you find where you can go that would fit what you have and the time frame, so forth. But have a plan. The next thing is to really consider and think about the culture you're going to. Be aware of their practices. Don't try to take that American thought process with you to another country, right? Okay, yeah, that will help you be safe. Another one was understanding your responsibility as a tourist. I thought that was a really good one. Let go of the colonizer mindset, meaning don't go over to these other countries. Like, that's how we do it back there. Yeah, that's just what colonizers did and do. Yeah, let's move on. Now, the next speaker that I want to highlight is Rachel Cargyle. She had quite a few statements that really resonated with me. And one of them is, I don't need to hold on to the oppressive structures. We don't need that. And many times we live in it, we work in it, we operate in it. So it really has become the norm. And until you are awakened mentally and you start to think differently, you're not aware of how oppressive the structures are that we operate in and how we've just made it our norm and become accustomed to it. So if you have not considered traveling abroad, you see what I mean? This will help you in your day-to-day life. All right, she also said, and this is what I live by now for the last few years, kind of, sort of, I want to live where there's no urgency in my day. As Americans in this capitalistic environment and society, everything is urgent. It's about the money. It's let's go, go, go. Rest when you die. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard, but I digress. No urgency. And the next thing was, I want to do something that doesn't deplete me. So in our day-to-day work situations, we don't have to be depleted in the work that we do. We can choose to do something different. There's some work to that, some considerations, some introspection, self-reflection process we have to go through. But give yourself permission to not do what depletes you. And the last thing that I wanted to share that she said is, purpose is not one thing. And that really resonated with me because my purpose is, I am an educator, a facilitator, and this made me realize how that looks different in my life in different areas. So it's not just one thing. Your purpose can be in several areas, and she shared her purpose in the areas of her life. So that was Rachel Cargyle. Now, the next speaker I want to highlight is Libria Jones. Libria has been a part of the conference at least 2 years. I've attended 3, and I think she's been here at least 2. Her first time being a part of it is when I realized, you know what, I might want to work remote. I had never worked remote before until, 2020, we were sent home. And through that process of what she shared, I then am now a remote worker, and I can't ever go back into the workplace. I can't do it. I ain't able. But what Libria shared in this conference is how to use AI now in your job searches, in creating resumes, and just introducing how AI can assist you. So her session was excellent. Me. The next speaker I want to highlight is Krishan Wright. She also has a podcast, The Blaxic Global. And her statement, man, you will see how these are all tying together. Design your life. Do not live by default. And again, I know many of us, especially Black women, we can get caught into existing and not really living. And so we have the power to design our lives. So give yourself the permission to do so. Again, she mentioned, let's break free of these constructs and limits. We live in a way of what society has taught us, influences from society, from our family. Those are those constructs and those kind of beliefs that lend to our limiting beliefs sometimes. So break free of those constructs and limits. Now, this is what Krishan said, and your girl was on the Googles. She said, open the aperture. And I was like, aperture? I had to Google it. But open it up. That's that part of the camera, like the lens, I think, that opens up so more light can come in. Baby, just think about that. Let's open the aperture. Let's expand our minds. Let's grow. Let's unlearn and relearn and design what works for us. The next speaker I want to highlight is Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, and her podcast is Therapy for Black Girls. And so when she spoke, what resonated with me was that statement of, we serve as possibility models. Someone is observing you, watching you for whatever it is that you do, and you are their possibility model. And as you go through this process, when you get these replays and you listen and you hear what each of these Black women are saying, they are your possibility models. A possibility model is going forward, opening that mind, creating that dream, and taking the steps to get there. That's the bravery. Someone shared with me that they wanted to know how to be brave. And I'm like, brave is an action. You don't get brave and then do something. In the action steps, in the work, in moving forward, falling back, continuing, those acts are acts of bravery. So yes, we serve as possibility models. That was good. That was good. That was Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. Okay, now, again, I told you there were about 28 speakers, I think 3 keynotes. So I've just hit on just the tip. You're going to have to get these replays to get the rest. But our last keynote, baby, Tabitha Brown. Yes. So I have some statements from Tabitha. Tabitha told us that freedom and conformity can't coexist. So if you are saying you are free, but yet you conform in so many areas of your life, is it how you wear your hair, how you dress, just how you operate daily? If you are conforming, you are not free. And that's just a statement to get us to start thinking about what freedom means to us, what does that look like, and are we living it? And she gave us her story of her beginning to live free. And in that, a statement that I used soon after is, she said, I'm not obligated to do anything for anyone. And of course, there's context to that. But the statement is, I'm a whole, free Black woman. I want you to really think about that. I'm a whole, free Black woman. And now we can create that life to really live what that looks like for us. Identify that for yourself. What does that look like for us? A whole, free Black woman. So what resonated with me is, are my behaviors in alignment with this statement that resonated so much with me? And I realized, there are some things in which, yeah, I'm a whole free Black woman, but there are some things that I'm conforming with, and that's normal. That's not a good or a bad. That's just an awareness. It's all about becoming aware, and then you can make the necessary steps and adjustments. Another thing that, the last thing I'm going to share that Tabitha shared that I think we can all resonate with as Black women is It's exhausting to put on a costume every day. I don't even have to go into detail about that because anyone in a workplace, you get it. Putting on a costume every day is exhausting. And sometimes that costume is not even in the workplace. It's in our day-to-day lives because we don't have the safe spaces within maybe our families or our friend groups that we have developed and maybe even outgrown, but feel like we need to stay there. Put on a costume every day is exhausting. So those are just a few of the insights and takeaways from just a few of the speakers at the Exodus Summit 2023. Again, I'm going to have information in the description box, but I recommend that you invest in yourself and purchase these replays. I think you'll have them for a year, and make that a part of your self-care. Make it a part of your self-care to just listen the first go around and then listen again. If you create a schedule, one a day, one per week, whatever that looks like for you, as you raise your awareness and you begin to dream. Second go around, pull out a notebook, write down some dreams. By the way, get you some tissue because it's emotional. Emotions will rise in you that you didn't know you had, and that's okay. So thank you for watching, and go ahead and like this video and subscribe and share. Thank you.